Alrighty, everybody. So welcome to our meeting today. I'm your one-star platinum, Sarah Rogers. I've been with Archer Travel now for just about 2 years, so I'm super excited. I love doing these specialty trainings for you guys. I think it's great. So thank you for everybody who showed up today. Today, we're going to go over, you got a travel request. Now what, right? So I like to, focus on the more of the customer service technical side of things. Let me go ahead and admit her. I think you guys are all capable of fully kind of going through vendors and navigating through them and getting comfortable with them. But I think sometimes we forget to kind of focus on the maybe customer service aspects of things, right? Or, the like, okay, what am I actually doing here, right? So that's kind of what this meeting is going to be about today, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into it. And if you guys have questions, feel free to ask me along the way. If you need clarification on something or anything like that, I'm pretty easygoing with that kind of stuff, okay? Alrighty. And for those agents that, if you have people hopping on, just let them know if they're late. I'm not going to go rehash stuff. I am going to go straight through the meeting. They can catch the recording on anything that they missed, all right? Okay, so first and foremost, whenever you get a client or a vacation request, you want to follow the same first steps every time. This is going to be really important, okay? When you're prepared and you follow the same steps every time, it becomes less stressful and you will naturally become more confident in what you're doing because you know you have the same procedure, the same routine for every single client, right? So what are some of the same first steps that you should be taking? Well, first of all, you want to get your client on the phone, right? We use the things like social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever social media platform you're on, maybe a Google listing, whatever you're on is great for getting people to inquire with you, right? It's a tool we use to get people to inquire with you, but you don't necessarily want to be selling travel through a messenger because you have to remember a lot of these packages, we're putting them together for families. They can be quite complicated. And they're going to be probably, a couple $1,000s in value. And you would not want people trying to sell you a couple $1,000s through a messenger, would you? Would you feel trustworthy of giving that person your credit card? Or would you want to get on the phone and just, build a rapport with that person, right? So, and when you build a rapport, you build a relationship, you build trust, people are going to be much more comfortable going through you to go ahead and get their vacation done, right? Part of what we do, guys, remember, is we are a service to our clients. So we need to go ahead and service them, right? So how do we do that, right? We're going to make sure that we are asking clients qualifying questions. We want to have a list of questions that are pre-made with questions to ask them while we're on the phone. Now, I have a very strong viewpoint on giving clients questions to fill out, because at that point you're basically becoming another travel search engine. Why are they going to go fill this out with you? They can just go ahead and just go on a search engine and fill it out. Again, we provide a service to them, because what happens when you go ahead and you ask these questions to your clients, you're actually getting to know them a little bit, right? It shouldn't be so cut and dry. It should be a little bit of a conversation flowing, right? Asking them, what kind of resorts they want, what kind of bedroom situation are they looking for? How many kiddos they got? What are the age? If you're a parent, you might be able to relate with them, right? So this is a way, when you're qualifying them and you're asking them questions, you're also building a rapport with them over the phone, okay? So it's gonna, and once you start, the first couple times that you do it, yes, I understand you're gonna be nervous, and that's okay. You might have been nervous when you first joined and started being a travel agent, but here you are, right? We have to be able to work through those nerves in order to become better at what we do, okay? So be prepared, and you're going to be prepared by having a list of questions that you ask. A lot of us leaders, we have qualifying questionnaires. So if you don't have one, if you're brand new, and maybe I should ask that, how many of you are brand new within your first month here with Archer Travel? Go ahead and hit the chat box. Me. Okay. Perfect. Okay, cool. Okay, that's a good collective sense of energy. Okay, so, okay, great. That makes me feel a lot better that I'm talking to a lot of new people. So you would definitely, depending, you know, a lot of us platinums and even golds, they are going to have a series of questions. You know, I know, for example, on my team, I do have a Google Doc that I send to my agents that is going to be like your qualifying questions, right? So if you guys want me, I can kind of show what I'm talking about here. So I have a list of series of questions that I always ask my clients when I get on the phone with them. This just makes it easier. It's basically, when you look at the questions, it's basically going to be the series of questions that you need to know before you even start searching for travel, okay? So what I mean by that is like what the vendor asked you to populate, right? So while my Facebook is thinking, oops, let's go into a VAC so you can understand the kind of questions that I'm going to be asking my client. Okay. And it's going to make sense to you, I think, once you see what I'm looking for, it'll make more sense why I'm asking these questions. Okay. Of course, my computer's slow. Sorry, guys. Okay, so you see how right here on this left-hand side of VAX, see all of these fillers that you need to know before you even search for something, right? So you need to know, okay, where is this, a flight and hotel? Is this, do they want, you know, a car rental, or do they want, you know, just hotel only? What kind of package are they looking for, right? So that's going to be a question you need to know. You need to know what city they're going to depart from, what airport, you know, and sometimes, you know, for example, I'm out here in Riverside County. So typically my clients will shop between 3 different airports, LAX, San Diego, and Ontario. So, you know, they may say, you know, I really want to fly out of LAX, but if San Diego is cheaper, I'm okay with flying out of San Diego. Okay, so I have a way of shopping that, right? But you want to know what airport they want to depart from, okay? And of course, you want to know where they're going. Where do they want to go? They want to go to Mexico. They want to go to Cancun, Cabo. They want to go to Jamaica. Where do they want to go? They do need to know where they want to go in order for you to be able to search, because you see, you can't search without knowing that, right? You need to know how many rooms and how many people per room, okay? And I have a more in-depth training about these kind of things, like the pre-qualifying stuff. But this is just more or less the series, the document that I have, that I ask clients, okay? Because, like I said, you want to get in the habit. You want to make a procedure out of your inquiries, right? You see here, this is a land inquiry. So these are the questions that I'm asking my clients every single time I'm on the phone with them, okay? This is not something that I give to them to fill out. I don't want to give my clients homework, and I don't want to give my clients more work to do. I am providing a service for them, okay, guys? Does that make sense to everybody? The service is I'm going to be able to shop this for them. I'm having a conversation with them, right? So in order to shop for them, these are the pertinent things I need to know in order to start. Does that make sense? Yes, no, I don't know. Maybe I'm not making sense. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Okay, so asking your clients qualifying questions, having a pre-made document with questions to ask. That's going to be very important, okay? Yes, I will share that in the chat. Hold on a second. So outside of that, you need to set up a follow-up appointment to go over your quote. This should be another phone call, okay? I am one that got taught by Nikki Lee on how to close my travel quotes. And I get on the phone with my clients each and every time. I don't email them stuff. I don't message them stuff. I get on the phone with them and I close them on the phone. That is my style, okay? So that is what I'm going to teach you guys. Okay, so when you're prepared and you follow the same steps every time, it's going to become more stressful. You guys are going to have, you know, more of a process to follow, and you're going to not feel so lost, right? It's okay if the first couple of times it feels awkward or you're nervous. That's okay, right? That's part of growing And that's part of getting to be familiar and learning the process, right? But you definitely want to have some sort of process and procedure down for yourself. So that way, it doesn't matter what the client wants or, you know, how the client's talking, you're gonna be able to have stronger posture this way. Okay, guys? So some of the times you get a travel request and, you know, maybe you feel like, you know, the client doesn't really know what they want. Do you guys ever feel that? Like the client's really open and broad and you're like, great, this isn't helpful, right? So hopefully this information right here will be able to help you kind of help your client narrow it down, right? Jennifer's asking, when you do a follow-up appointment, how long is it until you usually call them back? I don't know if I'm waiting too long to call them back. That's a great question, Jennifer. So part of the questions that I'm asking my client is, you know, oopsies, how soon are you looking to book this? Okay. Let's say I'm shopping for like a Hawaii quote, right? Okay, Jennifer, great. How I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. How soon are you looking to book this? Oh, I'm ready to go, you know, by tomorrow. You know, it's Wednesday right now. My husband gets paid on Friday. We'll be ready by Friday. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and set up the follow-up appointment for Friday, right? Because you know she's going to be ready for Friday and it's going to give you time to shop it. And you know she's telling you she's going to be ready for Friday. You can go ahead and close on the phone on Friday because she's telling you she's going to be ready, right? So I'm qualifying her and I'm also finding a good time. Now, you know, if she's like, oh, I'm ready whenever. Okay, great. Now, the other thing you need to be mindful of is you need to allow yourself time to shop the quote, okay? One of the rookie mistakes that I used to do is I used to tell my client, okay, great, I'm going to get back to you right away. What does right away mean? Does that mean in an hour? Does that mean in 5 hours? Does that mean in 2 or 3 days? What does right away mean? You need to set a follow-up date, okay? Date and time. You know, I have my daughter in daycare 3 times a week, so I'm typically going to do my follow-up appointments any days that those land on, right? So let's say I'm shopping for a quote today. And of course, depending on how my schedule looks, you guys know what your schedule looks. You know, you know what your availability is. Don't say you can do something in 2 hours if you know you can't even sit down on your computer for another 4 hours, right? So you have to be realistic with yourself. Now, you don't want to make your client wait a week for you to get a quote, right? So you just have to go ahead and make it realistic. I try to do stuff within 48 to 24 hours of quote, depending on how soon they're looking to book, because that gives me time, realistically, me being a single mom and having kiddos, right? If there's more of an urgency, I may try to get the quote out on that same day, but I'm going to give myself a couple hours to shop it, right? So let's say it's Monday and they're going to be ready to book it tomorrow, Tuesday. I'd be like, okay, Jennifer, great. I do have some availability tomorrow in the afternoon. I have a 3 o'clock or a 5:30 available appointment. Which one works best for you? So we can go ahead and follow up, right? And sometimes they may not have a 5 or, you know, maybe they're like, oh, I get home at 6 o'clock. Can we, you know, talk at 6:30? Okay, yeah, sure. We can go ahead and do that, right? So the most important thing is you want to set up, because in setting this up, guys, you're also, in a sense, qualifying your client, okay? Because you want to make sure that they're serious about it. People who don't want to get on the phone with you, they're not serious about booking travel, okay? They're window shopping. So by going through this process that I'm talking about, following the same steps every time, you are actually qualifying your clients along the way, right? It's kind of like people who window shop for cars. Everyone who goes up to a car lot, they're not necessarily going to buy a car, right? But it's that sales guy's job to kind of qualify their client in that conversation to gauge, okay, how serious is this person, right? Does that make sense to you guys? Yes, this is being recorded. Okay, I'm not teaching you guys how to book the actual travel. That's a different training. This is a training on how to do a travel request and kind of follow the same procedure every time to give you guys a broad sense of it, okay? Okay, great. All right. So if your client, let's say they're like, oh, you know what, Sarah, I really just want to go maybe to, you know, I want to go on a honeymoon. I don't know where my husband and I want to go, but maybe sometime in June. Okay, great. That's not enough information. And I know that. So instead of saying, oh, okay, Susie, no problem, I'll go ahead and get started. what can you get started with that kind of information, right? Again, this is part of where we come in at to help them kind of narrow it down. So this information, you know, I labeled this, what if your client doesn't know what they want? Okay, that's okay. We're here and we're designed to help them narrow down their choices. The more you can narrow down during the initial phone call, the easier your quoting process will become, okay? The easier your quoting process will become because you're going to be less overwhelmed. You're helping them guide themselves, right? So some of the things I help, some of the questions that I ask when clients kind of start off broad is I ask them, you know, do you want domestic or international travel, right? If they want, putting together a quote, Gina, that's going to be a different training, okay? Do you want domestic or international travel? So, you know, if they want international travel, the next question I have is, do you have valid passports, right? If they don't have valid passports and they're wanting to leave in a month, then international travel is not going to be probably a realistic choice for them, right? So do you see how I helped just narrow down that choice by asking two really basic questions? Okay, Susie, looks like you don't have a passport, so looks like it's going to be a domestic trip, right? I mean, there's just no way around that. So asking these type of questions is going to help you help your client decide what they want, right? You know, what if they say, oh, you know what, I just want the best deal. I just want the best deal. When they want the best deal, guys, they want the best deal for the experience that they want. Okay, let's repeat that again. When they want the best deal, they want the best deal for the experience that they want. Okay, because I guarantee you, a family of 5 wanting the best deal doesn't want to stay in a hostel where they're sharing rooms and bathrooms with people. That would be the quote unquote best deal. That's the cheapest deal, but is that the experience that they want, right? So it's up to us to kind of help them navigate through that, right? So, you know, let's say Bob says, hey, you know, I want to go do a Jamaica trip. We have valid passports. We're good. You know, I just want to go during a good deal. I just want a good deal on the vacation. Okay. In order to shop the best pricing, I need to know what are the dates that you're looking for. Can you give me a roundabout time? You know, oh, I can go anytime in June. Great. Would you prefer to go in the beginning of the end or the end of June? Are your kiddos in school? You know, you start having a conversation with them, right? And this is why it's so important to get your clients over the phone, because this conversation will go much more fluidly over the phone, right? As opposed to, you know, trying to go back and forth in Messenger. Because here's the thing, you start hounding somebody with 21 questions over Messenger, now you're annoying. Now I don't want to answer. Now it's easier for me to shop on myself. Provide a service, get on the phone, get to know your client. Remember, you don't want a one-time client, guys. Right? That's not a way to sustain business. You want lifetime clients, right? Somebody, if you own a restaurant, somebody walks into your restaurant, do you want that to be the first and only time they go into your restaurant? Or do you want them to be blown away by your customer service and the food that they always come back to your restaurant? It's the same mentality when you're talking to your clients, okay? You want them to be lifetime clients, okay? You want them to have such a good experience with you that they're just going to go from you from here on out, okay? Some of the things that I ask them, you know, if they are, you know, this is again, the best, I want the best deal. Okay, let's talk about what kind of amenities do you want for your hotel stay? You know, are you looking for an all-inclusive? You know, and that again depends on domestic or international, right? Because just FYI, unless you're going to 1 or 2 places in Florida, there are no all-inclusives in US or Hawaii, which is part of the US, right? All-inclusives are typically going to be international kind of touristy locations, right? Like the Jamaicas, the Los Cabos, the Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, and all those kind of places, right? Dominican Republic. So, you know, I always ask people, what kind of resort, what kind of amenities do you want from your resort? Do you want a resort that's going to be, you know, do you want a gym? Do you want, you know, what kind of you know, do you want a resort that has a pool in it? Or, you know, I start asking them things that they want out of their hotel, because that's going to tell me what kind of experience they're looking for, right? And then I would kind of ask them things like, do you plan on sticking around the resort? You know, do you want to go out and explore? What is it that you want to do when you are wanting to go ahead and go there, you know? Because let's say they're like, oh, I want to go to Hawaii. I want the best deal. Great. do you plan on being at the beach the whole time, or do you want to go out and explore? Because if they want to go out and explore, maybe having a beachfront hotel isn't that important. So that's where you can save them money, right? So these are questions that you have to kind of ask, and this is why it's so important to get on the phone with them and to kind of talk their way through it, right? Does this make sense to you guys on how you can help your client narrow this down? Okay. Do you see how when you're asking these kind of questions, it's also helping you guys take control of the situation? And so when you're able to take control of the situation like this, what's happening is your client's automatically becoming, they're having more, I guess, faith or more trust in you, right? Not knowing where my mistakes are being made. Yeah, and you know, guys, I only learned this through experience, trial and error, right? Don't think I'm sitting here, you know, I've never blown a quote or I've never blown a phone consult or anything like that, right? But it's the mistakes that I did along the way that helped me learn and perfect my craft, and here I am teaching it to you guys today, right? So, you know, I didn't know how to narrow down my client at first. I would have a client that would, you know, tell me, oh, I want to go to Jamaica. And I'd be like, okay. And then I'd get off the phone. I'd be like, I know they want to go to Jamaica, but that's it. How does that help you? You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you're helping yourself as much as you're helping them. Okay. Yes, exactly. And it's one of those where like you have to live and you have to learn a little bit. It's okay. It's part of the game and it's part of the learning curve, right? But being able to have this as a resource, I think will be helpful to some. So I'm glad for those that are on right now. Okay, so I will post that in a second, Miranda. All right, so you got the information. Now what, right? You're freaking out. You got a quote. I have a client that they want all these things. What do I do, right? And I see a lot of posts like this in the Rising Tide Facebook. You know, I have a client that's looking to go to Hawaii, five person group. They want a beach resort. Where do I start, right? Okay, so first and foremost, relax. Do not overcomplicate this, okay? Booking travel is not like a rocket science thing, right? You know, shop for a client the way you would shop for yourselves. How many of you have booked your own travel before? Okay. Yep, see? Okay, perfect. Tamara says, I have. Jennifer says, I have. Lakeisha, sorry if I'm not saying it right, always. Talithia says, me. Amanda says, me. Leah, oh, many times. Gina, Amy. All of you guys, Deb, Karen, Ronnie, Yanni. Okay, great. Guess what? Then you already know what to do. Because shopping for your client is no different than shopping from you. Okay, so don't overcomplicate it. Don't get in your mind, right? Relax. You already got on the phone with them. You already qualified them. You already got them what you already know what they're looking for, essentially, right? So relax. Don't overcomplicate this. Shopping travel for a client is no different than shopping for yourself. Okay. And one of the things you have to be prepared to do is shop. You have to shop the quote. How do you know you're going to get the best pricing if you don't know you shopped it? How could you used to travel for work and always booked it on my own? Exactly. So shopping travel for a client is no different than shopping it for yourself. Okay, do not overcomplicate it. Okay, you have to shop it though, right? So you got the information, now what? Shop the quote. Be prepared to shop the quote with different vendors. This is the part of the service we provide, right? If you're new, like I know a lot of you guys are within your first month, okay? So if you're new and you're like, but Sarah, I don't know how many, you know, we have 133 vendors. I can't shop all 133, right? A really good start point for you guys is going to be our preferred vendors, okay? And you may be asking, Sarah, how in the world do I find our preferred vendors? If you log into your back office and you see back here, you see this little thing right here? Evolution Preferred Supplier Program. You see the Platinum Preferred Suppliers and the Gold Tier Preferred Suppliers, right? So if you're brand new to booking to shopping with our vendors, a great place is going to be start shopping with the platinum preferred suppliers: RoomRes, Apple Vacation, FunJet, and Pleasant Holidays. Those are all land vendors. The bottom 4 are cruise vendors. Okay, so shop these 4. Those are going to be awesome vendors to shop with, right? And you can price compare between the 4, right? Because once you get a good handle on these, it's going to be really easy for you, okay? But these are reliable, dependable vendors. They pay out great commissions and they have amazing customer service for us. So if you're brand new and you want to shop with reputable suppliers that we can really depend on and provide good service to us and all of that, shop with our preferred suppliers. But you do have to shop. Does that make sense to you guys? Shopping is part of what we do. You do have to shop the quote. There's never going to be one best vendor for anything, okay? Because let me tell you guys, our vendors are always throwing on sales, okay? So let me give you guys an example of this. We have Vax, right? We have Vax, okay? And in Vax, there's a bunch of different suppliers. You have Southwest, FunJet, Apple, right? Apple and FunJet, 2 of the preferred suppliers, okay? Travel Impressions, right? So I don't know, maybe Apple Vacations is having a sale this week. Maybe Southwest starts having a sale next week, right? So the vendors are constantly throwing on different promotions. So what vendor may have worked a month ago may not be the best vendor right now, not because they're any worse or better, but because maybe another vendor is having different sales, right? Does Vax consolidate the vendors, or do we need to separate websites too? Maylena, go ahead and call Archer today and let them know, and they'll send you an email. Okay, it's an email, so maybe check your spam. But if you've done all of that, then just call Archer and they can resend it to you. Does Vax consolidate the vendors? No. Vax is it's a portal which you have more than one vendor. So that's a good question, Christine. What I do is I'll just open up 2 or 3 windows and I'll shop. One will be FunJet, the other one will be Travel Impressions, and the other one will be Southwest Vacations, right? And I just kind of shop them side by side. So that's what you can do. You get, shop FunJet, okay, open it up in a window, shop Apple, open it up in a different window, and then open up Pleasant Holidays, right? And just go boom, boom, boom. Fill this out, search, go to the other tab, fill it out, search, go to the other tab, fill it out, search. And what are you doing? You're shopping, right? So does that make sense to you guys? You have to shop the quote. There's no getting around that. Guess what? Travel agents, we have to work, and our work is shopping. So if you like to shop, you picked the right career. What if there are more people than you can put down? Tamara, I love shopping. Christine, happy face. I think she likes shopping too, right? So you have a shopping bug, be a travel agent so you can go shopping for other people. So iPhone is asking, what are there more people than you can put down? So I'm assuming you mean like either more adults, right? Or more children. So what is that going to mean? Okay, so just pop up. Let's say they need 3 rooms. So pop up Vax 3 different times and shop room by room, right? Sometimes it's just an admin thing, right? Those are admin little bugs that we need to just do, right? So we just shop it. We do one room with, 4 kids, 2 adults, whatever the case may be. We do another room with, whatever that second room is, and the third room with whatever that room is, right? And then we just shop it that way. And then I have 3 different pricing if they're different rooms, right? Let's say they're like, okay, they need 6 rooms and they're all 2 adults. We'll shop it once. And, if it's $1,200 a room, then that's how you give the quote, right? Because they're probably all going to want to book individually. So, you tell Susie and Bob, hey, Susie, I got your quote with the 6 rooms. It's going to be about, $1,200 per person, or I'm sorry, per room. Right? Does that make sense, iPhone, on how you can break that down? I don't like calling you iPhone. I don't know what your name is. Yes, no, does that make sense? Okay. Yes, it does. Nicole. Okay, great. Thanks, Nicole. Like iPhone. All right. So, you've got to be prepared to shop it. There's no way of getting around that. You really have to shop the quote. So, I always say, if you're new, like I said, just start off with the preferred suppliers. Don't overcomplicate. Remember rule number 1, don't overcomplicate. Don't overcomplicate, right? These are great suppliers. I love them, and they provide us excellent customer service. You can't go wrong with them, really. They're great. You know, because Apple, FunJet, even Delta, United Vacations, right? They're all in Vax, and we're a preferred 500 agency with Vax. So they treat us really good, okay? But yes, you do have to shop the quote. You have to shop the quote, because how can you feel confident in presenting something to a client that you didn't shop, and so you actually have no idea if this is the best pricing, okay? And you guys, let me also explain something really quickly to you guys, okay? Especially for those of you that are new, is it easier to do room by room if a customer is asking for a group 5 to 7 rooms or request a group quote? Group quotes from a vendor typically don't start until about rooms of 10 or more. And I actually have a separate training for that on my YouTube channel, Yanni. So anything less than that, it might be easier. You may be able to call the vendor and they can maybe, and you may be able to, you know, they can maybe help you group it together, but it may be easier, like I said, to just do it room by room and do it that way, right? So again, it's just a lot of that's just like kind of admin kind of stuff that you just need to figure it out. But, you know, for me, if I had, you know, 5 rooms, I would probably just shop it. And I know Cheyenne, is Cheyenne on here? Because I know Cheyenne's done some fit groups before for FunJet. You know, what you can do too, if it's not necessarily a group as far as like a group contracted rate, there's still a way to link that together, especially if you're in FunJet. And that might be another training that I do along the road. So fit groups. I'm writing that down. Thank you. Inspiration for next month's training, Yanni. Thank you. Okay. So, you know, give yourself time to shop this. Okay. So, you know, like I said, and that's part of that. I think Jennifer asked that question. How long do you give yourself? You know what your schedule is, right? So you know what your availability is. Don't tell your client you're going to get back to them in 4 hours if you're babysitting 5 kids for the next 4 hours, right? That's not realistic, right? Give yourself time to shop this. Don't give yourself only 20 minutes to shop this, because guess what? You're not going to be very relaxed. I know I wouldn't be relaxed. You know, that's part of the don't overcomplicate this, right? Okay, and this is kind of, I think Tanika was just asked, this is my point that I'm hitting on right now. Don't think you need to provide your client with a lot of options. They go to us to help them decide. Don't give them option overload. Don't do that. Okay, guys, because the reality is, look, especially when you're booking in like the touristy areas, like let's say you're booking a Cancun trip, there's 50 plus different hotels. Chances are they're probably going to like the majority of them, right? There's probably at least 10. Look, but truthfully, right, as a travel agent, there's probably at least, you know, 20 different hotels I want to check out in Cancun, which means there's probably 20 different options that I would be happy with, right? Don't do option overload for them. Okay. When I present my quotes to them, I present them one and I have a backup as in my pocket. Okay. You know, I know Amy Cabrera, I think the way she does it is she presents one that's right in the budget of what the client's looking for. She presents one that may be right above the budget, but has a little bit more value, right? So if you're going to present something that's above the budget, it's because it has more value, right? And then she may present something that doesn't have as much value, but it's a little bit more cost effective and maybe a little bit under their budget, right? But I always present one and I go hard, I sell that, because again, I've really qualified my client in the front end, right? Remember those procedures in the beginning that I started talking about? The qualifying your client and getting to know them and doing all of that in the beginning. So I know what they're looking for, right? So it's going to help me narrow down the options. Like, let's say, for example, okay, here's an example on how qualifying them can also help you. Okay, let's just really quickly do one like this. Okay, let's just say your client, they want to go to Cancun 5 nights, whatever. Okay, this is just to show you an example. When you help qualify them and when you help narrow down their choices in the beginning, look at what happens. Okay, it's Vax is going to take forever, but that's okay. Vax is really taking forever. Okay, look. So when Vax pulls this up, you see right here, 102 choices. Do you really want to give your client that many options? No. But see right here on the side, filter results. Great. Experience. What kind of experience does my client want? Do you see how I'm tying this into the search results now? Do they want an adults only, all-inclusive on the beach? Well, let's check this out, okay? So let's say they want an adults only, they want an all-inclusive, and they want to be on the beach. Let's see what the 102 goes to. Beach, all-inclusive, adults only. I now have 23 options. I cut down my options in shopping by, what is that, 75%? I just narrowed it down by 75% on my own, right? Do you see how much easier and less overwhelming that just got for me? Because I asked my client for the experience that they wanted, okay? Now, let's say my client's a little bougie and they're like, you know what, Sarah, I only want a 5-star resort. Perfect. My results now just went from 23 to 17. Do you see how less overwhelming that is? And I'm going to search price, low to high. Cool. Does that help you guys? Do you understand why I'm asking for the experience now? And how I can use that information to help me narrow down choices for my client? Perfect. Okay, good. I'm glad this is helping you guys, you know? So, you know, then I start, and then you can start doing things like, this is, again, part of shopping, right? Sometimes you got to try stuff on to shop it. You know, you can go here and in Vax, you can check out the resort. How beautiful is that, right? That's a room that I would feel comfortable putting a client in. Wouldn't you feel comfortable putting a client there? That's a nice room, right? So now, not only am I more confident, right? Because I've narrowed down these choices based off the experience they want, but now I'm able to go in and check this out. So now I'm like, oh, these are great rooms. Now I feel even more confident about sending my client here. Okay. Yes, I will, Tamara. Now I feel even more confident. Shoot, my client wanted an all-inclusive, all-adult, on-the-beach hotel. And look at these rooms. I know they're going to be happy here, right? And so, you know, don't think you need to provide your client with a lot of options. Because you've done the pre-qualifications in the front end, it'll help narrow down the search for you when you're shopping it for them. Remember, my first initial search got me 102 results, but by asking my client and narrowing down the choices, by going over their experience and getting to know a little bit about what they want, I narrowed down, I went from 102 to 17. Okay. And then I priced it, I filtered it from low to high pricing. Okay. So, you know, that goes all the way out from, oh, why is it doing that? Look at these little ones in this one right here. Oh, this is a 5-star, what should we do? So, you know, we got from 4,400 to 2,100, right? But here's the thing. I already know that all of these are a 5-star hotel. I already know that all these hotels are on the beach, all inclusive and adults. So I'm going to shop probably the least one, right? The least expensive one for my client if it's on the lower, if it's on within their budget, right? This is also when you filter this stuff out, guys. Let's say your client wanted a beach, all inclusive, adults only, 5-star hotel in Mexico, 5 nights, 2 adults. Okay. But they're like, Sarah, my budget is $1,000. How many? Because I get this on the Facebook group, right? This is what they want. They want 1,000. They have $1,000 budget. I can't seem to find what they're looking for. Well, if you filter out and if you see I'm getting everything they want, I priced it from low to high, and the lowest available rate is 2,100. You know what that lets me know? Their 1,000 budget, not realistic. Not realistic. You know what I might tell them? You know what, Jenny? For $1,000, that's just honestly not going to be a realistic expectation. For a 5-star, all adults only, all-inclusive beach stay for 5 days for 2 adults. So they're either then going to, you know, change it. You know, they may want a, you know, drop it down to a 4-star. Even then, that's a $1,900, right? So yes, this that I'm shopping for was a price total for 2. So, Jeff, that's a different meeting, and so I'm not gonna be able to do that. But I've done training on that before. I have a VAX training in my YouTube. So if that's something that you're looking for, you can go to my YouTube, and I'll post my YouTube link in the chat. I have some things to post in the chat. Okay. Christine says this might be a dumb question. I recently see ads for 500s for all inclusives for adults. Where do you see those ads? You know, that's so broad. Where do you see those ads? You know, you guys also have to think, like, a lot of these ads that people put on Facebook, is it price per person? Is it deposit per person? Are they selling the timeshare? You know, a lot of these little gimmicky places, like VIP vacations and stuff like that, yeah, they're timeshare. So you know what they're doing to their clients? They are going to spend, the client's vacation is going to be spent stuck on a meeting, trying to get bought a timeshare, all of that. That's not an experience that we don't have that pressure with the client, right? They don't have to worry about getting pressured into something else when they go on a vacation with us. We're just shopping a vacation for them. We're not trying to sell them a timeshare. That's totally different. Okay. We're not getting them committed to anything that they have to hold on to for years and years or whatever. We're just shopping the vacation that they want. Okay. All right. So let's talk about being prepared for the follow-up call. You pre-qualified them, you shop the quote, and you're ready. How do you make sure you are ready for that phone call? Whoopsies. Sorry, guys. Right? How many of you, you know, I shouldn't ask that. No. So, you know, you want to make sure that you are ready for the follow-up, because you want to close, right? How many of you want to close your deals? Right? We want to start closing, right? Or for those of you that are brand new, that's okay, but you want to be closing from the get-go, right? Okay. So here are some tips that have helped me close more deals. So this is what I'm sharing with you guys, okay? Okay. So download pictures of the resorts and the rooms of the resorts, and be prepared to send this via text when you're on the phone with your client. Okay. This is why it's so important to check out the resort and VAX or Pleasant Holidays or wherever you're shopping this, right? You know, I'll go on my phone and I'll Google Ocean Maya Royale, right? I might snap this picture and I try to get the room that they're going to stay in, right? And I'll snap maybe a picture of that, right? So what I do is I'll download these pictures, and then when I'm on the phone, let's say I'm, you know, on the phone with Susie, and I'm like, okay, Susie, look, I went ahead and I shopped this resort. You know, let me go ahead and send you these pictures. Ready? I'm going to go ahead and text you these pictures. I'm going to text you a picture of the resort, and then I'm going to text you a picture of the room that I found for you. Okay. This is a resort. Isn't that beautiful? It's right on the beach, just like we discussed. This is going to be an all-inclusive, all adults vacation. Check out this room. This is what that junior oceanfront room that you were looking for. That's what it's going to look like on the inside. Okay. Do you see how different this conversation is, right? And I'm on the phone with them while I'm doing this. Susie, did you get the pictures? Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Oh my God, that's a beautiful resort, Sarah. Oh my God, that's a beautiful, clean room. Yeah, I know. Isn't it great, girl? Right? So do you see now how I'm closing them, how I'm selling them with the details by providing a picture for them to look at while they are on the phone with me. Does that make sense? Okay. Right. And then I go over the quote live in person, right? You're going to have a much higher chance of closing the deal when you do this over the phone. Why is that? Because you're giving them all the information over the phone and you're going to close them right at the end and you're hyping them up. Oh my God, Susie, this is a beautiful resort. Look at that. You're literally right on the beach. It looks super private. It's an all-adult resort. Show them pictures of the restaurant, whatever, right? Look at the restaurant here. It's super classy, just exactly what you were looking for, okay? So I went ahead and I got this for you. I have a super great pricing for you. It's right under, it's right where you were looking at. And now I'm going to tell them, you know, I got you the flights. I also got you the transportations. So you're going to get picked up at the airport, driven to your hotel. I'm going to go over that. Did you send them the picture by text or by email? No, I'm doing this live over the phone. I'm literally, hey, Susie, how are you? This is Sarah Rogers. Do you have a couple minutes like we talked about to talk about your vacation that I found for you? Yes, I do. Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and send you, I found an awesome resort. I'm going to go ahead and send you these pictures. Boom, boom. I'm sending them as I'm telling her, right? I'm sending them. So this is all prep work that I've done. This is why it's be prepared for the follow-up call. Download pictures of the resort and the room and be prepared to send this to you via text over the phone while you're on the phone. I don't do anything by email, guys. I don't. I'm a product of Nikki Lee's training. I do everything live. Okay. It was really scary at first. Okay. I'm not going to lie to you. I was really nervous at first, but I closed so much more deals this way that now I'm just like, I can never go back. I can never go back to the way I was doing stuff before. Nikki Lee really, really helped me in this. So it's okay to be scared, Amanda. Trust me. Sometimes I got to do like the jello dance and get my nerves out before I get on a phone call. That's okay, right? The great thing about the phone is they can't see your facial expression. So it's okay if you're a little nervous, all right? But I promise you, you know, once you start doing a couple of these, the more you do it, the less scarier the next one's going to be, right? It's like trying to kick a ball into the goal for the first time. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to be any good at this, right? But you got to practice, right? The more you practice, the more confident you're going to be when it comes to come to kick that ball again in the goal, right? Yes, Cindy, I always believe in that too. I like to smile when I'm talking on the phone, and I think it just is part of my customer service experience. You know, they may not see that, but they feel it, right? How do you pass the mindset of getting scared of talking over? You know what, Yanni, you know what I think of when I get scared? I think about my daughter and me wanting to provide for her. And if I don't get on the phone with my clients, I'm not going to provide for my daughter. And yeah, it's scary to get and talk to somebody, but it's even more scarier to think that my daughter's going to go without. Right? So, so that's how I get over my fear. You know, that's part of knowing your why. Why did you start this business? What do you need to survive? And once you know those and you hold on to those, it's going to help you get over that little hump, right? So, okay. So go over the quote live over the phone. You're going to have a higher chance of closing the deal. You know, have the pictures ready and, you know, have all the booking information up and ready to go. You want this book, you want to book this over the phone, right? So you want to have all the booking information up and ready to go. How are you going to do that? Look, do you see the page that I'm on in Docs? It's the checkout page. This is the page that you need to be on, the checkout page. I have the flight information. I have the room type, the hotel name. Do they want travel protection? Because they're going to need to decide in order to book the package. I either need them to have travel protection or not. Okay. And then this is everything that I need to book them. Their first, last name, date of birth. I'm going to do this all over the phone. Great, Susie, you love this? Okay, awesome. Let's go ahead and get you booked. You know, what's your, you know, can you go ahead and give me your first name the way it's spelled on your passport and your last name? You know, what's your date of birth? I always do my email. I want all of the information to go to me and I forward to my client. And Amy Cabrera has a great video on how to brand yourself that you can take all this information afterwards to brand yourself. Okay. And you know, their phone number, then go to the next one. Okay. All right, Susie, what card are we putting this on to go ahead and secure your rate today? It's that easy. Because you qualified your client during your phone consult, you know if they're going to be ready to book. You already know because you already qualified them. You qualified them in the beginning, so this phone call is not going to be intimidating or as intimidating because you already qualified them. After you go over all the information, go in for the close. Awesome. I'm glad you love this resort, Susie. What card are we using to secure this for you? It's that simple. You've already set them up. Why do you think they're talking to you? To book travel with you. Booking travel costs money. They already know that, right? So as far as a credit card authorization form, everybody does it a little bit different, guys. And you have to remember, part of being a 1099 is the beauty of having kind of your free discretion. So I book everything live. So, you know, for example, I'm taking down all their information live and I'm booking it. Like I'm literally not getting off the phone until I get that confirmation number, right? Because it's been booked. So what I do is I go, okay, great, Susie, I'm going ahead and processing this. You know, your confirmation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In order to go ahead and release the itinerary, the system needs a credit card authorization form. So I'm going to go ahead and send that to you. If you could, please just fill it out, screenshot it back to me, however it's easiest, and send it back to me. As soon as I have that, the system will release the itinerary within 24 hours. Does that make sense to you guys? But I already gave them the confirmation number, right? And when you say stuff like that, doesn't that sound a lot more streamlined? Like there's a lot of processes, like that's an automated thing. So they're not second guessing that. Does that make sense? You know? Great, here's your confirmation number. I'm going to go ahead and send you the credit card authorization form. Please fill that out. And as soon as you fill that out, I'm going to put that into the system. Will go ahead and release your itinerary within 24 hours. Be sent to your email. And then that gives me enough time to copy and paste the itinerary and brand it myself. Yes, the credit card authorization form is a document in the back office. So I got a question. I don't know who asked it. Cindy is asking, do you have them contact you to make payments? Yes, I make all my payments for my clients. Again, I'm a service, right? So let's say they're like, okay, they're just going to put down the deposit, which is a $1,200. Great. Put down the $1,200. Every time my client wants to make a payment, I just tell them to shoot me a text or call me or email me. And then, you know, I get in contact with them. You know, I get to my computer, I pull up the booking. And once you have the booking, all my bookings are, I have one booking that needs a $49 payment on it. Hold on, watch. I'll show you guys. Yes, I'll put in my YouTube video in a second. Hold on. 8407 and Ariana. Okay. So for example, 8407. Okay. So, and let me throw in, guys, the link for the questions. Copy. Okay. So I'm going to put in the link right now. That is the potential questions that I ask my clients. Okay. So there's a link for that. Oh, where's my other thing? So let's say you have a client that has a vacation paid. You see, she is paid $2,400. She still has $41 to pay. So I pull up the reservation. No, if you're booking with the preferred supplier, they all have built-in commission. So you don't have to do anything. The commission's already there. Well, you do have to fill out a commission tracking form, but that's a whole nother training. Okay. So is all this making sense to you guys? Was this helpful? I'm glad. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Yay. Okay, so if you're new and you need to rewatch this, or if you're just like me and I'm like, okay, thank you for this information, but I'm going to need to rewatch this again to absorb more of it. Let me go ahead and how do I share my, I don't know how to share my actual channel. Here, I will do I'll share this video with you guys, and this will, hold on a second. Share this. So I'll share this video with you guys, and then it'll be linked to my other videos. Oh, thank you, Yanni. You're so funny. You're so nice. Everybody in the meeting. So here's my a link to one of my YouTube videos, and that'll get you to my YouTube channel. Okay, so you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna upload this video. I'll have it uploaded by Thursday. So you guys got to give me some turnaround time. I'll have it uploaded by Thursday. The branding is going to be an Amy Cabrera video. Okay, sorry. All right. Hold on one second, sorry. Of course. Thank you so much, guys, for showing up and plugging into the meeting. I'm very excited, and we will see you around next time for the next meeting. Bye, guys.